Some photographs don't fade with time. They stay, not because they are graphic, but because they ask uncomfortable questions. Questions about responsibility, about preparation, and about the cost of ignoring warnings. In 1985, one image forced the world to confront a tragedy that was not only natural, but human. This is the story behind that photograph. Before the disaster, Armero was a quiet agricultural town in central Colombia. Nearly 30,000 people lived there. Families, farmers, children walking to school. Life was ordinary, predictable, safe, at least it felt that way. But just miles away stood Nevado del Ruiz, a snow-capped volcano with a long and dangerous history. Scientists had warned that Nevado del Ruiz was active. Studies showed that if it erupted, melting ice could create massive mudflows, known as lahars. These lahars had destroyed Armero once before, centuries earlier. Maps were made, warnings were issued, evacuation plans existed, but action was slow. Disagreements delayed decisions, and life continued as usual. On November 13, 1985, Nevado del Ruiz erupted. It was not the largest eruption in history, but it was enough. Hot ash fell onto the glacier at the volcano's peak, instantly melting ice and snow. Within minutes, massive rivers of mud began racing downhill. Faster than cars could travel, Armero never stood a chance. Lahars are not lava. They are dense, fast-moving mixtures of mud, rocks, trees, and debris. They flow like wet concrete, burying everything in their path. That night, lahars swallowed Armero while most residents were asleep. Entire neighborhoods disappeared. In just hours, nearly 20,000 people were gone. French photojournalist Frank Fournier traveled to the disaster zone to document what remained. What he found was overwhelming. Mud as far as the eye could see. Silence where a town once stood. While moving through the ruins, a local farmer stopped him. The man gestured toward a puddle surrounded by debris. And that's when Fournier saw her. Her name was Omayra Sánchez Garzón. She was 13 years old. She had been trapped for nearly 3 days, pinned from the waist down by concrete and the remains of collapsed homes. Rescuers were nearby, but they lacked pumps and heavy equipment. Trying to free her without proper tools would have caused fatal bleeding. They could only stay with her. Despite everything, Omayra was calm. She spoke gently. She smiled at times. And then she asked Frank Fournier a question that would stay with him forever. "Can you take me to school? I'm afraid I'll be late." It was a child's concern, spoken in the face of death. Omayra's situation became a symbol of helplessness. Rescue teams did what they could, but resources were limited. The world watched as hours turned into days. After nearly 72 hours trapped in the mud, Omayra passed away. She was 13 years old. Frank Fournier's photograph was published worldwide. At this moment, Frank Fournier had a choice: to help or to document. Many call him a hero for showing the world the truth. Others call it an act of exploitation. Before we see what happened next, I want to know your take. If you were standing there with a camera, what would you have done? Drop a document or help in the comments. Some were horrified, some were angry. People asked why the photo was taken instead of saving her. But the truth was devastatingly simple. She could not be saved. The photograph revealed something larger than one tragedy. It exposed the consequences of ignored warning. The image sparked global debate. Was it ethical to publish such a photo? Or was it unethical not to, if it forced the world to pay attention? For many, Omayra became the face of preventable disaster, not a victim of nature alone, but of failed systems. After Armero, disaster preparedness changed. Volcanic monitoring improved. Evacuation protocols became clearer. Early warning systems gained urgency. Omayra's story helped save lives long after her own was lost. Omayra Sánchez Garzón is remembered not for how she died, but for the courage she showed while living. Her story reminds us that behind every statistic is a human life, and that listening to science, to warnings, to history is not optional. It is responsibility.